Mindset right there is always go win the game. You know, it's a 2-minute drive. We need a field goal. Let's just go win the game.
Love in the shotgun, looks left and right. He sets, he fires, he hits his man. Slipping defenders, Dontavian Wicks.
You know, it always is tough how critical every play is in those 2-minute situations.
Love throws it over the middle. Got his man this time. Between the hash marks inside the 40. Down near the 35-yard line, Romeo Doubs.
For him to be able to take us all the way down the field and get an opportunity right there to kick a field goal, I think is huge.
And the Packers, with 3 seconds to go, stop the clock. And Brandon McManus, the newest Packer, comes on. The Packers 24, the Texans 22. What a ball game.
You talk about a 4-quarter fight.
Sheesh.
I mean, that went down to the last second, man. Give it up for everybody.
Hello and welcome to Total Packers with Matt LaFleur, presented by Software One. Larry McCarren along with the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. And Matt, there's a rumor going around that they're going to give Brandon McManus the key to the city. What do you think?
For a first exposure, it looked pretty good. So to come in, he hasn't played football in quite some time, and to come in fresh on a Wednesday and have to make the game winner in Lambeau on a Sunday, so he's off to a pretty good start.
Matt, you're down 1, you're on your own 30, 1:44 to play, 1 timeout. As play caller in chief, you are thinking what?
How do we move the ball to put us in position to go kick a field goal? And I thought our players did an outstanding job. Obviously, Jordan leading the way, distributing the ball, but guys did a really good job with pass protection and getting open on routes, and allowed us to move the ball down the field to put us in position.
8 plays, 44 yards, and no muss, no fuss. It was like you guys practice it all the time, and of course you do.
We certainly do, yeah, every Thursday. And again, it all comes down to execution. We always talk about those critical moments being the most important for guys being on all their assignments, and it was pretty flawless at the end of the game.
You had 3 turnovers, led to 16 points for the bad guys, but being able to overcome that says a lot about your team, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of got punched in the mouth a few times, but our guys stayed resilient and kept playing with that next play mindset and not letting one bad play get them down too far. And I thought there were some good moments of complementary football, certainly to start the second half, getting the 3-and-out. Offense goes down and has a long drive and scores a touchdown, but I think there's still a lot to improve upon just from a consistency standpoint.
Jordan Love had 2 interceptions, but he also had 3 touchdown passes. What did you think of his game?
I thought for the most part played a pretty good game. I thought he was throwing pretty accurately. I know there's 2 takeaways we'd like to have back, especially that first one on the 3rd down. Got to do a little bit better job of seeing that nickel, reading that concept outside in. The other interception, we got to be better in pass protection. We can't allow him to get moved off the spot like that. And he's going to give our guys opportunities to catch the ball down the field.
After a record 211 receptions, Josh Jacobs finally gets his touchdown catch. Matt, does something like that kind of enter your mind either when you're putting in plays, calling plays, or it's not a factor?
Well, I wasn't quite aware of it until a couple weeks ago, but we're always trying to find the plays that are going to give us the best opportunity to have success and win football games. And certainly Josh is a threat anytime you can get him the ball, whether it's handing it off to him or throwing it to him in the passing game. But we were well aware of that and felt like we had some plays that could be dialed up to get him into the end zone.
You guys hold C.J. Stroud, a young phenom at quarterback, to 86 yards, which is a career low, and a passer rating of 58 and change. How did you do it?
All 11 playing as one. I think it's a combination of the rush and the coverage. I thought we got a great amount of pressure on him. Jeff Hafley did a great job of dialing up different blitzes, playing different coverage contours behind it, whether it was man, whether it was 2 shell, 3 deep, and it all goes hand in hand.
From my seat, the crowd seemed to make a difference. From the sideline, could you feel it?
Oh, absolutely. The crowd definitely had an impact on the game, and we appreciated everybody showing up in white. It was a pretty cool and pretty surreal scene.
Thank you, Matt. Coming up, Packers linebacker Eric Wilson. Don't go away. Total Packers with Matt LaFleur is brought to you by your local Chevy dealers, by Bell & Health, and by Johnsonville. Welcome back. This one-on-one is brought to you by Brew Pub, lots of matzo pizza.
Dumps it off right side. Oh, and hit and driven down. He was destroyed by Wilson. In the tight pocket, he's sacked up the middle. Eric Wilson with authority.
5 tackles, 2 sacks, 4 total tackles for losses, 1 pass defensed, and 1 special teams tackle for good measure. Does that qualify as a pretty good day at the office for you?
I think so, yeah. Definitely flying around, doing what I can do, always finding the ball.
Under pressure, hit and taken back.
C.J. Stroud, you guys hold him to 86 yards. That's a career low. How do you do that?
Playing together from the D-line, linebackers, DBs, doesn't matter what the play is, what the offense is running. As long as we're on the same page, we have a really good chance. So I think we did a great job of that.
Now, you're getting more plays from scrimmage. Didn't you have to take it over in the middle, make some adjustments? Because it seems like there were no adjustments, you're just ready to go.
As linebackers, you got to be ready to go all the time. You got to be juiced up all the time. We kind of got to work on the string as linebackers. So I've always known playing, outside linebacker where he's got to be. So when I have to make that adjustment, I know where I'm supposed to go.
Okay, in the program it lists you as 6'1", 230. You not only survive, but you thrive in the land of the big guys. How have you learned to not only survive, but thrive?
Yeah, you got to kind of be able to do the best of both worlds when it comes to linebacker. Run with these super fast receivers, tight ends, running backs, and then you go in the trenches, 6'5", 300 plus pounds. So you got to be able to be strong enough to deal with those big guys, but fast enough and quick enough to deal with those skill positions. So definitely a great combination for us linebackers.
Pops it over the left side, broken up, incomplete. Eric Wilson denying the completion to the tight end.
Does this defense that you are a part of, does it have the mystical it?
We got a lot of good guys on this team. I think we come together really well. We got a lot of good coaches, and we keep finding ways to get better. We keep finding ways to finish games when we're supposed to, make stops when we're supposed to, starting fast, playing physical and getting the ball out. We're doing a heck of a job of getting takeaways, and that comes with everybody playing together. So I think we're doing a hell of a job of it.
Be among the thousands of football fans cheering on their team's NFL picks by joining us April 24th through the 26th for the NFL Draft. Visit greenbay.com/draft25 for more information. Welcome back. This week's Chalk Talk is brought to you by Network Health. Defensively speaking, the A-gaps are on either side of the offensive center. And that's where the Packers created all sorts of havoc against Houston. The Packers are in a double A gap look with Isaiah McDuffie and Eric Wilson. And what they're going to do is send Eric first and have Kenny Clark loop around him. And keep in mind, offensive lines want to area or zone block stunts. Switch men as they switch rush lanes. Now, let's focus on Eric. He's going first, and he does exactly what he needs to do. He gets penetration and gets on the hip of that left guard and basically renders that left guard useless. He can't block Eric, and he can't block Kenny. Now let's go back to Kenny. His first job is to sell his rush upfield, which he's doing. And that attracts the attention of that guard thinking he's got a block, big Kenny Clark. In the meantime, here comes Eric Wilson, and that guard is not ready when Eric knocks him into the middle of next week. Now the center, he's been messing with Eric, so he's late coming off for Kenny. Kenny gets the flush, Eric gets a sack, and the Texans are punting. Later, another double A gap look, this time with Edgerrin Cooper and Eric. And you'll remember, last time Eric was going here and Kenny Clark was looping around him. Not the case this time. At the snap of the ball, Eric is dropping into coverage and gets in perfect position to defend the throw to the tight end on a quick out. Eric is there to slap that ball away for a pass defense, and the Texans are punting again. Later, another double A gap look, and this time it's going to be Edgerrin going first and Eric looping around him. Same principles apply. Edgerrin getting penetration, getting on the hip of that center and rendering him useless. Eric initially selling a rush upfield, waits for Edgerrin to work his magic, and now it's Eric coming free. Now the Texans do have a running back involved in the protection, but he doesn't know whether to block Edgerrin or Eric, so he blocks neither. And the Texans are punting yet again. Good scheme, executed flawlessly by good players, and that's how you hold C.J. Stroud to a quarterback rating of 58.8. Total Packers with Matt LaFleur is brought to you by Network Health, by your Wisconsin Toyota dealers, and by Software One, redefining how companies build, buy, and manage everything in the cloud.
My play style to me is just being a dog, being an aggressor, just being able to, 4 quarters, impose my will against the defense or whoever in front of me.
1, 2, 3, big dog!
Playing with a lot of juice, a lot of the energy, and just being able to bounce that off my teammates and make sure that everyone is up to par and playing with a lot of juice and a lot of energy.
The Packers and Bellin Health are featuring an exclusive hat for Packers versus Cancer. Join the fight today and help the Vince Lombardi Cancer Foundation. Visit PackersProShop.com. We are back, and it is time to hand out game balls. And Matt, on offense, you went with Romeo Doubs. The stats say 8 catches, 94 yards, and the longest came on your very first play when Romeo put the defender in the ground.
Yeah, Rome had an outstanding game. There were a lot of tough catches that he made across the middle. We hit on about 5 slant routes with pretty good coverage, and some of those balls were a little bit out in front. But he is so aggressive and so strong, his hands, being able to run through the ball, and he made some critical catches. Obviously, the last one on the last play of the game before the field goal was a big-time play.
Kenny Clark, your choice on defense. He had 4 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss. But Kenny is the kind of guy that makes a difference even when he doesn't show up on the stat line.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just He was creating havoc in the backfield, both in the run game and in the pass game, and that's what we need from him. He's one of our veteran leaders and one of our most consistent performers.
And on defense, you went with Daniel Whelan, and his numbers they're incredible. 5 punts, 56.8 gross, 51.6 net, and his holding wasn't bad either.
Well, that was a heck of a hold on that last field goal. But he made a huge impact on the game, just being able to flip the field. Offensively, we weren't moving the ball quite like we were accustomed to and expect to do, but he certainly bailed out our offense and put our defense in some favorable situations.
And Matt, you were saying that game balls aren't the only awards you hand out after a game.
Yeah, we have an award called G of the Week. It goes to somebody or multiple people in some cases that go above and beyond, and we had 3 guys this week. Eric Wilson being one of those guys, stepping in for Quay Walker. Eric didn't practice the Mike linebacker position all week, and he's got to go, and he gets the calls from Halfley and has to communicate that and get our defense aligned. On defense, we went with Brandon McManus to be able to come in here again, fresh off the couch and kick a game winner was pretty special. And then the other guy on defense we went with was Colby Wooden, coming off an MCL injury, didn't think he was going to be even able to play, and his contributions were felt within the game.
Thank you, Matt. Coming up, the last word from the coach. Don't go away.
Great to be here in Green Bay, that's for sure. The tradition and the history that comes from Green Bay and the impact it's had on the NFL. Honestly, I can't think of a better place to have the draft. We have a new element this year, and it's called Taste of the Draft.
And what better way to highlight it? Our unique culinary traditions here in Wisconsin and showcasing the supper club experience. From relish trays to after-dinner ice drinks, old fashions, I think those will be a big part of it. Attendees will get to enjoy food from Wisconsin's finest supper clubs, visit with former Packer players such as Leroy Butler, and experience entertainment throughout the entire building.
Our Taste of the Draft will raise money that we will give back to schools in the state to help bring healthy school meals to the children who need them most.
And the Taste of the Draft is another opportunity and way that we can make an impact, a unique opportunity for us to be able to impact not only those in the Green Bay area and the communities of Wisconsin, but also our customers and our employees, and again, students from around the country.
The home of the 2025 NFL Draft is right here in Green Bay, April 24th through the 26th. Visit greenbay.com/draft25 for more information. The Last Word with Matt LaFleur is brought to you by Construction Business Group and Wisconsin Operating Engineers Local 139. Welcome back. Time for the last word from the coach. And Matt, of course, you're heading to Jacksonville this week. And the Jaguars lost their first 4, but since then, they've won 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I think this is a dangerous football team. Obviously, they've got a lot of explosive players on the offensive side of the ball. They got a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence that is another franchise quarterback. They got 2 great rushers. And then defensively, they can put a lot of pressure on you with their pass rush.
Thank you, Matt. Best of luck in Jacksonville, and thank you for watching. Until next time, take care.